This is why I have a wet footprint on top of my mind. To begin a walk, to make an air of knowing where to go, to print speechless pavements with secrets in my forgotten feet, or go as I feel, understand some air alone, around the formerly known places like going when going is knowing, forgetting. To have passed there, walked without a word, to have felt all my old grounds, forgotten world all along, dream places, words in my feet, explain the air of all, feel it under me, stand in the unspoken, a cool street, an air of legs, an air of visions. Geography, I am all here, there. The ladies in red capes and golden bracelets walk like reeds and talk like rivers and sigh like Vichy water in the doorways. And looks run down the land like colts, race with the wind, the mares, their mothers, lover, down to the empty harbor. All spine and sandal stand the willow women. They shake their silver bangles in the olive light of clouds and windows, talking among themselves like violins, and opening their eyes wide as horizons, seem to await the navy home from Troy. No longer stand together, widow women. Give your gold ornaments to the poor. Make run the water speech of beads between your fingers, for Troy is burned and Greece is cursed. The plague comes like a cloud. All your men are sleeping in the alien earth, but one. And Clytemnestra, walking like a willow, stares. Beads and bracelets gently knife clash all about her, because the conqueror, the home-come hero, the soldier, bleeds in her conscience, twisting like a root. It's February 26th, Shrove Tuesday, here in Kentucky, and the blue elm tree near at hand, and the light blue hills in the distance, the red bare clay where I am supposed to plant some shade trees. These are before me as I sit in the sun for a free half hour between direction and work, Tomorrow is Ash Wednesday, and today, as I sit in the sun, big blue and purple fish swim past me in the darkness of my empty mind. This sea which opens within me as soon as I close my eyes. Delightful darkness, delightful sun shining on a world which, for all I care, has already ended. It doesn't occur to me to wonder whether we will ever transplant the young maples from the woods yonder to this bare, leveled patch, the place where the old horse barn once stood. It does not occur to me to wonder how everything here came to be transformed. I sit on a cedar log, half chewed by some novice's blunt axe, and do not reflect on the plans I have made for this place of prayer, because they do not matter. They will happen when they will happen. The hills are as pure as jade in the distance. God is in his transparent world, but he is too sacred to be mentioned, too holy to be observed. I sit in silence. The big deep fish are purple in my sea. Give me some money. Deprived by the abolition, but much more fun, he decreed, would soon come of it, as fortunately only few were present. You can now win three-cornered advantages in the well-known Moon section of Chicago, which is filled since Thursday with inventions of unprecedented laughter. A lone train alarms the summer silence with a contralto trident. The old man has won 7 nights in formaldehyde. He has become a fixture. Go collect the lame teardrops of the dog star. Who will tell this fine gentleman his fortunes are wintering? Well, he sings for it. Oh, give me a cunning dollar that tells me no lie. Better informed, truth-telling 20s and 50s that understand. I want to carry crackling new money that knows and loves me and is my intimate, all-looking doctor, old, costly, white-headed family friend. I want my money to know me like whiskey. I want it to forgive past, present, and future. Oh, make me numb and advertise my buzzing, feedbacking, business-making mind. Oh, give me a cunning dollar that tells the right time. It will make me president and sport and tell me all the secrets of the telephone. I want to know the new combinations. In my pocket, I need to possess Plato's mother. I want what knows all the scores. And I want my money to write me business letters early, every day. Sendings, a powder, stays, pomade, twill, rawhide, regency power, hound's tooth, regal lizard, amber rose. Send space wines, idle while. Send fine lagers over wide, unreasonable suit. Whining mares a fake. Transocean signed Captain Martyr. Send iris signal and help run green lemon patron. Help cider. More scotch. Send Universal Maroon. Send cricket bats, Junior Navy, Herringbone 10, Aqua 55, Mum's Own Velvet, Boy's Own Paper, Clips, Flaps, Mumps, Boats, Beds. Too many pink and maroon and magnolia signed on China, Graffito Joe. Yes, bone China, personal. Oxbone handshake, mares, waiters up to the bum, Finnegan's Hall, Byron's Hyde Park Roadrunner under the arch. Ship how many freights away Tuesday? Too many. All way back home. Please send teas, shutters, flaxens, needles, toxins, suds, pumps, raglans, botanicals, turquoise acetate, tire valves, crepe pan shifts, butter melange, Salem witch, glirays, blowers, muirs, alps, public gardens. Please send elephant leather chuckas, braised partridge, carry-all patch pocket loop through blend pouch in a variety of stoles. Please send everything. Happy roses of life. Dames need instant comfort. Send crocus for my Japanese juniorette. Yellow pimento, chili turtleneck for La Vida Brava. Send also a message to Carmichael. Solid state, clef, chief 10, annuity wear, poplin, top quality, premium impact liqueur, accelerator, tourist, accessories, and mineral oil. Send us the other end. Send us all the whiskey. Top the funnel charnel at the police's corner, the spanky wink, the red, the walkie-talk, the phenomenon feeler, the top regarder, the bump on the box, the ozone of gasometers, eye shots and droplet picks, cunning exposures of fun on the run, nicked in the naked, dressing in the Cadillac, found in the act, seeming letters and postals of George in the milky sun, Millways, king of the post bus, comes with a Gainsborough and puts a pillar box under the tree. I have drops in my eyes and can't see the pictures. I can't see the starters because I am gated again, gated in Bridge Street with a pillar of postals. Shred my letters and feed them to the birds. May the 6th, Ascension Day. Yesterday, Father Macarius and I went out and blessed the fields, starting with the wheat and oats, and coming around by St. Bernard's Field and Aden Nallies and across to the bottoms. Out in the calf pasture, we blessed some calves who came running up and took a very active interest in everything. Then we blessed pigs who showed some interest at first. The sheep showed no concern, and the chickens ran away as soon as we approached. The rabbits stayed quiet until we threw holy water at them, and then they all jumped. We live in the time of no room, which is the time of the end. The time when everyone is obsessed with lack of time, lack of space, with saving time, conquering space, projecting into time and space the anguish produced within them by the technological furies of size, volume, quantity, speed, number, price, power, and acceleration. The primordial blessing, increase and multiply, has suddenly become a hemorrhage of terror. We are numbered in billions and massed together, marshaled, numbered, marched here and there, taxed, drilled, armed, worked to the point of insensibility, dazed by information, drugged by entertainment, surfeited with everything, nauseated with the human race and with ourselves, nauseated with life. As the end approaches, there is no room for nature. The cities crowded off the face of the earth. There is no room for quiet, no room for solitude, no room for thought. There is no room for attention, for the awareness of our state. In the time of the ultimate end, there is no room for man. Those that lament the fact that there is no room for God must also be called to account for this. Have they perhaps added to the general crush by preaching a solid marble God that makes man alien to himself? A God that settles himself grimly like an implacable object in the inner heart of man and drives us out of ourselves in despair? Hey, here's how it all began. This is the cargo catechism, boys. Now, old Anute made him some man and woman along flowers, animals, trees, fish, put him in a garden, belong plenty canned beef, rice bags, polished, instant coffee, tobacco, matches, and candy bars. Old man and woman, no pants and lots of whiskey. By and by, plenty peccato, make 'em plenty trouble. No good. Old Anute took away all the canned food before they could even find the can opener. Quick, lock up the garden and hide all the whiskey. You want 'em inferno, old man Adam? Suppose you speak. I know God inferno. By and by, you go along in. Now, Noah was a good fella, so old Anute showed him how to build a steamer. Make him strong a fella talk. Get a long steamer with plenty cargo along all animals quick. I make him rain long time, no can finish. Noah had a peaked cap, white shirt, shorts, stockings, and shoes. The rain came down, and Noah rang the bell, and off went the steamer with all the animals, that's all. Steamer belonged plenty: canned beef, rice bags, polished instant coffee, tobacco, matches, and candy bars. No whiskey. Old Noah, always properly dressed. Nix peccato, nix trouble. By and by, rain stops, and the steamer lands in Australia. Old Noah finds a bottle of whiskey lying around Sydney. Bad news for everybody, that's all. Noah want him one drink, work him trouble, no can finish. One drink takes off shoes. 2 drinks takes off the socks. Son Ham belongs Noah, watches and laughs when old boy takes off his pants. For this, Ham is deprived of cargo, canned meat, razor blades, and sent to New Guinea to be a black man. Well, Jesus Christ is now in Sydney waiting to deliver cargo to natives without the intervention of white men. He has a steamer, and it is all loaded, but he does not yet have the proper clothing. Jesus Christ is waiting in a hotel room for someone to bring him a suit. Word travels fast down the coast. Large gatherings are dispersed by the police. Families are arrested and put in jail because they have arranged bouquets of flowers for the comings of Jesus with the cargo. And in 1940, amid rumors of distant war, a local leader in Madang, after 2 hours of silent prayer, stood up and announced that the king was coming to take over. Another declared that he was the Apostle Paul and had a radio like the Australians. The one who announced the advent of the king was immediately arrested, but he was released when, after questioning, it became clear that he was not referring to the Germans. But the people understood why he had been arrested, and henceforth his message was taken very seriously. Flowers and fruit were on display everywhere. When those who displayed flowers were arrested, bouquets were made in secret and hidden under baskets. As soon as Jesus appeared with the cargo, they would lift up the baskets. Their world would all be flowers. Whole being breathes the wind which blows through the belfry, and my hand is on the door through which I see the heavens. The door swings out upon a vast sea of darkness and of prayer. Will it come like this, the moment of my death? Will you open a door upon the great forest and set my feet upon a ladder under the moon and take me out among the stars? The roof glistens under my feet, this long metal roof facing the forest and the hills, where I stand higher than the treetops and walk upon shining air. Mists of damp heat rise up out of the fields around the sleeping abbey. The whole valley is flooded with moonlight, and I can count the southern hills beyond the water tank, and almost number the trees of the forest to the north. And now the huge chorus of living beings rises up out of the world beneath my feet. Life singing in the water courses, throbbing in the creeks and the fields and the trees. Choirs of millions and millions of jumping and flying and creeping things. And far above me, the cool sky opens upon the frozen distance of the stars. I lay the clock upon the belfry ledge and pray cross-legged with my back against the tower and face the same unanswered question. Lord God of this great night, do you see the woods? Do you hear the rumor of their loneliness? Do you behold their secrecy? Do you remember their solitudes? Do you see that my soul is beginning to dissolve like wax within me? Do you remember the hillside behind Hammerkamp's place? Do you remember the time of the forest fire? God, do you know what has become of the little poplars we planted in the spring? Do you observe the valley where I marked the trees? There is no leaf that is not in your care, no cry that was not heard by you before it was uttered. There is no water in the shales that was not hidden there by your wisdom. No concealed spring that was not concealed by you. There is no glen for a lone house that was not planned by you for a lone house. There is no man for that acre of woods that was not made by you for that acre of woods. The hand lies open. The heart is dumb. The soul that held my substance together like a hard gem in the hollow of my own power will one day totally give in. Although I see the stars, I no longer pretend to know them. Although I have walked in those woods, how can I claim to love them? One by one, I shall forget the names of individual things. You know, we imagine that propaganda is always something patently false, or at least in great part fictitious, a malicious and systematic misrepresentation of truth. But propaganda need not be blatantly false. On the contrary, the more effective propaganda contains in itself a large measure of truth, and it is effective precisely because the facts on which it is based can be verified. men who think themselves intelligent enough not to be taken in by mere propaganda, and who assume that all propaganda is easily detected by the evident falsity of the facts, let themselves be completely taken in by the mere subtle variety of propaganda which today is much more common. After all, we are making progress in this area too. Now, propaganda is an ostensible appeal to reason and to action, which is in fact essentially irrational. But this propaganda is not necessarily untrue. Yet how many men are capable of telling the difference between a statement that is simply untrue and one which, though containing true facts, joins them together in a way that is irrational and therefore makes no real sense? For instance, one can say that there are communists in a certain neighborhood and say that Senator X has been seen in that neighborhood, and both statements may be perfectly correct. But when one joins the two together in such a way as to suggest the conclusion that therefore Senator X is a communist and that he was in that neighborhood precisely in order to attend a communist meeting, then the statement is irrational. It does not prove what appears to prove. Propaganda exploits just such suggestions and insinuations. And the most effective propaganda is that which makes use of strictly true facts, but facts which do not mean what the propagandist claims they mean and which in reality mean nothing whatever. They only lend a spurious air of authority and even scientific objectivity to the conclusion, which is addressed not to reason, but to the emotions. A mass of factual and correct information can, even if not illogically presented, have the same effect as completely false and irrational propaganda. Even supposing that the information itself may be rational, when the reader or the listener is deluged with facts and arguments that he cannot possibly assimilate, he ends up with nothing but a global impression, which is something quite different from a firm rational judgment. This mass of information from various sources has been hastily read, not assimilated. You don't have the time to think about it or weigh it. You're simply left with a general sense that such and such a policy is wise. That because those who know all this have come to certain conclusions, their conclusions are probably the right ones. Instead of making a reasoned judgment, one makes an act of faith in the government or your political party, and then you leave it at that. It is these impressions and acts of faith, rather than rational, well-informed judgments, that guide the decisions not only of ordinary citizens, but even of experts and authorities, because they have scanned the information and have perhaps discussed it with others who have gone through the same summary process. They think they are informed. Because they have formed an impression and are satisfied that others have formed the same impression, they feel as if they had reached a fully rational conclusion. On such impressions, wars are built. On such impressions, wars are built. And because the original facts were perhaps perfectly correct, one takes it for granted that all the other steps were reasonable too, whereas they were not. How much worse it is when the facts themselves are doctored or suspect, or when one does not even know the relevant facts at all. She wears old clothes. She holds a borrowed handkerchief. And her sorrow shows us the papers have bad news again today. Li Ying, only 19, has to return to China. Days on foot with little or no food, the last 6 days on water alone. Now she must turn back. 300,000 like her must turn back to China. There is no room, say the officials in Hong Kong. You must go back where you came from. Point of no return is the caption, but this is meaningless. She must return. That is the story. She would not weep if she had reached a point of no return. What she wants is not to return. There is no place for her, and no point for thousands like her. There is no point. Their flight from bad news to worse news has caused alarm. Refugees suffer and authorities feel alarm. The press does not take sides. We know all about the sorrow of Li Ying. One glance is enough. We look at something else. She must go back where she came from. No more need be said. Whenever the authorities are alarmed, everyone must return to China. We too know all about sorrow. We have seen it in the movies. You have our sympathy, Miss Li Ying. You must go where we are sorry for your future. Too bad some people get all the rough breaks. The authorities regret. Refugees from China have caused alarm. When the authorities are alarmed, what can you do? You can return to China. Their alarm is worse than your sorrow. Please do not look only at the dark side. In private life, these are kind men. They are only obeying orders. Please do not look only at the dark side. All the newspapers in the free world explain why you return. Their readers understand how you feel. You have the sympathy of millions. As a tribute to your sorrow, we resolved to spend more money on nuclear weapons. There is always a bright side. If this were only a movie, a boat would be available. Have you ever seen our movies? They end happily. You would lean at the rail with him. The sun would set on China, kiss and fade. You would marry one of the kind authorities. In our movies, there is no law higher than love. In real life, duty is higher. You would not want the authorities to neglect duty. How do you like the image of the free world? Sorry you cannot stay. This is the first and last time we will see you in our newspapers. When you are back home, remember us. We will be having a good time. In the region of daffodils and accurate fears, we seek the layout, the scene of claims. We expect 8 a.m. with cries of racers. Here is the entrance to the start. And the smart pistol glints in the eyes of an eternal chief. He sees executives begin to run over fresh-cut graves. The whole civic order of salads blessed in green by order of the town. Then the machine with sterling efforts keeps in trim, in tune with oil, though it needs essential grooves, say the keepers. And you are always turning it off, says the owner. So now it is over, the day of executions. Malfeasances are over and done in all the books of law. And the cartwheel planet goes down in the silos of earth, whose parkways vanish in the steam of ocean feeling, or the houses of oil men. Go home and get your picture taken in a bronze western, an ocean of free admissions to the houses of night, to the sandy electric stars and the remaining adventures of profiteers.